The Pazyryk believed that after they died, they would go to a mountain pasture. Yukok seems to me the sort of place where the souls of the Pazyryk would have gathered. You feel that you're about to unveil a secret when you open the lid. You don't know what's inside. A face or something else might appear through the ice. We had a visit one day from the border guards, who helped us to choose the burial mound.
We have this curious stonework, and we also have it at Archaeologists in Turkey. Exactly the same kind of thing. Is this a coincidence, or is there something going on behind the scenes of history that we've not been fully informed about yet?
Perched high atop the rugged peaks of the Taurus Mountains in southeastern Turkey, the tomb of King Antiochus Theos of Commagene at Mount Nemrut beckons with the whispers of ancient secrets and celestial mysteries. Erected over 2 millennia ago, this monumental sanctuary is not only a marvel of Hellenistic engineering, but also a cryptic canvas of colossal gods and inscriptions that blend the myths of East and West. As the sun rises and sets, aligning perfectly with the stone behemoths that guard this sacred summit, the mystery deepens. What divine ambitions did this forgotten king harbor, and what secrets lie buried beneath these stone giants, silently watching over the empire of Commagene? For centuries, the towering statues of Mount Nemrut stood silently, known only to the local people who wove their existence into the fabric of local myths, calling it the throne of the gods. This mix of reverence and legend kept the site tucked away in the annals of folklore until a twist of fate brought it back into the light. In the 1880s, Karl Sester, a German road engineer working on infrastructure projects for the Ottoman Empire, stumbled upon these majestic relics not out of archaeological zeal, but through sheer happenstance. His subsequent sketches and reports were the first to unveil the grandeur of Nemrut's statues to the Western world, sparking a wave of interest among European archaeologists and historians. The rediscovery of Mount Nemrut set the stage for a series of explorations that would delve deeper into its historical and cultural contexts. Shortly after Sester, Osman Hamdi Bey, an Ottoman archaeologist and painter, conducted more systematic studies at the site. He proposed that the Grand Mound could very well be the tomb of King Antiochus II of Commagene, an idea supported by the inscriptions and formidable statues that guard the site. This period marked a significant turning point, drawing a flurry of academic expeditions that pieced together the narrative of King Antiochus I, while enriching the field of Near Eastern archaeology. The artistic styles of the statues, with their blend of Persian, Hellenistic, and indigenous elements, provide a fascinating glimpse into the cultural interplay of the Hellenistic period, post-Alexander the Great's conquests. This fusion of artistic influences offers a window into the dynamic cultural exchanges of the era, further underscoring the historical significance of southeastern Turkey as a cultural crossroads. Perched at an altitude of 2,134 meters in the rugged Taurus Mountains, Mount Nemrut commands a view that stretches vast and wide, overseeing the Euphrates River Valley. This strategic and visual dominance was no accident. It was a clear symbol of power and divine status, meticulously chosen by King Antiochus I. The site's layout, with its statues and burial mound aligned to catch the rays of the rising sun during the equinox and the setting sun at the summer solstice, underscores the solar worship prevalent during Antiochus's reign. This astronomical alignment not only highlights the king's desire to link himself with the cosmos, but also speaks volumes about the sophisticated understanding of celestial patterns by ancient civilizations. The mystical heights of Mount Nemrut in southeastern Turkey are not only a testament to ancient engineering, but also to the pioneering spirit of those who have uncovered its secrets. In 1953, American archaeologist Teresa Girl began a systematic exploration of this enigmatic site, which was particularly groundbreaking as it was one of the first major archaeological projects led by a woman. Her work, supported by institutions like the Bollingen Foundation, the American Philosophical Society, and later the National Geographic Society, was crucial for the sustained excavation and research that would follow. Despite numerous challenges, including harsh weather conditions and logistical issues in transporting equipment up the mountain, Girl's team persevered. Using traditional excavation techniques, Girl and her crew were meticulous in their approach, ensuring the integrity of every artifact and structure discovered. Their efforts unveiled not just the colossal statues, but also a series of reliefs and inscriptions that illuminated the cultural and religious life of the Kingdom of Commagene. These findings were pivotal in confirming that the tumulus was indeed the burial site of Antiochus III, aligning with earlier hypotheses about the site's purpose. As archaeological methods advanced, later explorations at Mount Nemrut incorporated technologies such as digital mapping and photogrammetry. These tools allowed archaeologists to capture high-resolution images of the site, which facilitated precise measurements and detailed records of the statues and inscriptions without risking physical damage. Techniques like ground-penetrating radar and electrical resistivity tomography were also employed to probe the internal structure of the tumulus, searching for potential burial chambers or other archaeological features without the need for invasive digging. Further studies have focused on the astronomical significance of the site's layout. Researchers suggest that the arrangement of the statues may align with the rising and setting of the sun during solstices and equinoxes, hinting at these events' religious or ceremonial importance in Antiochus's ideology. From the tomb of Antiochus the Bion at Mount Nemrut to the pyramids of Giza in Egypt, there lies a fascinating comparison. Both sites were built as tombs for their respective rulers, serving as monumental tributes to their power and divine status. However, while the pyramids are primarily massive stone structures designed to house the pharaoh's remains and belongings for the afterlife, Mount Nemrut combines burial purposes with a religious sanctuary, featuring colossal statues that showcase a blend of Hellenistic and Persian influences. Moreover, both sites exhibit significant astronomical alignments. The pyramids are meticulously aligned to the cardinal points, possibly reflecting celestial phenomena, while Nemrut's layout seems to focus on solar events, emphasizing the importance of astronomy in ancient religious and burial practices. This fascinating alignment hints at a deeper connection between celestial phenomena and the divine rites of ancient rulers, suggesting that these majestic sites were not only final resting places, but also key to understanding the cosmos itself. The artifacts and inscriptions unearthed at Mount Nemrut serve as crucial pieces in piecing together the reign of Antiochus III and the syncretic fabric of the Commagene kingdom. It's truly fascinating how these discoveries offer deep insights into his ambitions and ideological foundations. The inscriptions on Mount Nemrut are a linguistic blend of Greek and Persian, underscoring the dual influences that shaped the kingdom. Greek served as the lingua franca of the broader Hellenistic world, while Persian reflected the local traditions and the legacy of the Achaemenid Empire from which Commagene emerged. Delving deeper into the inscriptions, they frequently include detailed genealogies that link Antiochus to deities and illustrious rulers. This not only legitimized his rule, but also positioned him as a cultural and celestial bridge. Among these, the Nomos of Antiochus inscription is particularly noteworthy. This foundational text outlined the religious and administrative laws Antiochus established, detailing ritual practices and festivals to honor him alongside the gods after his death, effectively creating a state religion that deified the king. Turning our gaze to the statues and reliefs, the iconography at Mount Nemrut is nothing short of spectacular. The statues depict Antiochus the Titan alongside a pantheon of gods such as Zeus Oromasdes, Apollo Mithras, and Hercules Artagnes, merging Greek and Persian divine figures. These statues are not only colossal but intricately carved from stone, showcasing a blend of artistic styles that highlight Antiochus's role as a mediator between his people and the divine. This symbolic placement elevates him to a semi-divine status, visually asserting his place in the cosmic order. An interesting parallel can be drawn between the statues at Mount Nemrut and China's terracotta army. Both serve profound funerary and commemorative purposes, standing as guardians over the afterlives of their respective rulers and as monumental tributes to their divine status. However, while the terracotta army underscores the military might of the Chinese emperor, the statues at Mount Nemrut emphasize a blend of military prowess and divine wisdom, reflecting Antiochus's unique approach to rulership. Moreover, one of the most captivating theories about Mount Nemrut concerns its astronomical alignment. Researchers suggest that the arrangement of the statues and the tumulus itself may align with astronomical phenomena such as solstices and equinoxes. This alignment might mark significant dates like Antiochus's birthday or coronation day, or served to highlight seasonal festivals that reinforced his divine kingship.
Said to be buried together for thousands of years, the mystery of the lost tomb of Cleopatra and Mark Antony has remained a mystery. Perhaps that is, until today. This never-before-seen tunnel has been something regarded as an engineering miracle. And while that whole thing is huge, how does all of this happen in the first place?
The discovery of Cleopatra's tomb is undeniably one of the most thrilling and mysterious achievements in archaeology. Cleopatra VII, the final ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, has fascinated people for centuries with her intelligence, political shrewdness, and her famous romances with Roman leaders Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. For ages, the location of her final resting place remained one of history's most elusive mysteries. The breakthrough in the search for Cleopatra's tomb emerged in the early 21st century. This incredible discovery was driven by Dr. Zahi Hawass, Egypt's former Minister of Antiquities, and Kathleen Martinez, a Dominican lawyer turned self-taught archaeologist with a deep passion for Cleopatra. Martinez, fueled by her admiration for Cleopatra and her extensive research of ancient texts, posited that Cleopatra and Mark Antony were buried in the temple of Taposiris Magna, near the ancient city of Alexandria. Martinez's theory was rooted in a detailed analysis of historical accounts by Plutarch and Cassius Dio, suggesting Cleopatra might have been buried in a temple dedicated to the goddess Isis. This idea contrasted with the prevailing belief that Cleopatra was interred within Alexandria itself. In 2005, Martinez obtained permission from the Egyptian authorities to commence excavations at Taposiris Magna. The excavation at Taposiris Magna was challenging. The site, located on the edge of the Libyan desert, posed significant difficulties due to its unstable structures and the complex layers of archaeological deposits. Over several years, the team uncovered notable artifacts, including coins with Cleopatra's likeness, statues, and inscriptions, all supporting the hypothesis that the site was connected to Cleopatra. A particularly intriguing aspect of this discovery was the mysterious and seemingly serendipitous nature of many findings. Key discoveries often coincided with unusual weather events like sudden sandstorms and unexpected rains, almost as if guiding the archaeologists to crucial areas. Some team members reported vivid dreams and visions of ancient rituals, which they interpreted as spiritual guidance. An especially fascinating discovery was a large, unfinished tunnel beneath the temple, leading to a series of chambers. This tunnel, carved with precise craftsmanship, suggested that the burial complex was intended for someone of extraordinary significance, possibly Cleopatra herself. Inside these chambers, the team found a hidden room containing a collection of golden artifacts and inscriptions referring to a Queen of Kings, a title often linked to Cleopatra. The initial announcement of the discovery of Cleopatra's tomb attracted immense media attention and widespread public interest. Press conferences were held, documentaries were produced, and the artifacts were meticulously catalogued and preserved. Many of these artifacts, including statues, jewelry, and coins, were exhibited in museums worldwide, drawing millions of visitors eager to learn more about Cleopatra and her era. Following the discovery, Taposiris Magna became a focal point for ongoing archaeological research. Scholars and historians collaborated to further investigate the surrounding area, uncovering additional structures and artifacts that offered more insights into the Ptolemaic period. The discovery also led to a re-evaluation of other potential burial sites across Egypt, prompting new excavations and yielding fresh historical data. The site itself transformed into a popular tourist destination, significantly boosting the local economy and fostering a deeper appreciation for Egypt's rich cultural heritage. Educational programs and public lectures spread the knowledge gained from the discovery, inspiring a new generation of archaeologists and historians. Cleopatra's tomb holds a treasure trove of unique and fascinating facts that shed light on her life and reign. One of the most remarkable aspects of Cleopatra was her linguistic prowess. She was fluent in several languages, including Egyptian, Greek, Latin, and possibly others, which allowed her to communicate effectively with various cultures and political leaders. This multilingual ability was a significant asset in her diplomatic engagements and helped her maintain strong political ties. Cleopatra's reign was characterized by a remarkable blend of Egyptian and Hellenistic cultures. She embraced Egyptian customs and religious practices, presenting herself as the reincarnation of the goddess Isis, while also maintaining strong connections to her Greek heritage. This cultural syncretism was reflected in the art, architecture, and religious ceremonies of her time, creating a unique and vibrant cultural landscape. The tomb at Taposiris Magna, believed to be Cleopatra's final resting place, is a testament to her architectural vision. The complex features intricate carvings, hidden chambers, and sophisticated tunnels, highlighting the advanced engineering and architectural skills of the period. The tomb's design and construction reflect the grandeur and sophistication that Cleopatra likely envisioned for her eternal abode. The artifacts discovered within the tomb are rich with symbolism. Golden jewelry, statues, and inscriptions reflect Cleopatra's royal status, religious beliefs, and political ambitions. These artifacts offer a glimpse into her life, her reign, and her desire to be remembered as a divine ruler. The symbols and inscriptions provide valuable insights into how Cleopatra viewed herself and how she wanted to be perceived by future generations. The discovery of hidden chambers and tunnels within the tomb complex suggests that Cleopatra may have taken great care to ensure the security and sanctity of her final resting place. These hidden features indicate a sophisticated understanding of architecture and a deep respect for the afterlife. The hidden chambers and tunnels add an element of mystery and intrigue to the tomb, highlighting the lengths to which Cleopatra went to protect her legacy. The tomb complex at Taposiris Magna is extensive, featuring a series of interconnected chambers and tunnels. The main burial chamber, believed to be the final resting place of Cleopatra, is adorned with intricate carvings and decorated with golden artifacts. The size of the tomb and its elaborate design indicate that it was intended for a person of significant importance, supporting the theory that it belongs to Cleopatra. Among the artifacts discovered were numerous statues, some depicting Cleopatra herself, others representing Egyptian gods and goddesses. The team also found a wealth of golden jewelry, including necklaces, bracelets, and rings, many of which are inscribed with hieroglyphs and symbols associated with royalty and divinity. Additionally, coins bearing Cleopatra's likeness and inscriptions were uncovered, further supporting the identification of the tomb. These artifacts not only highlight Cleopatra's royal status, but also provide a tangible connection to the historical figure, enriching our understanding of her life and reign. One of the most enduring mysteries surrounding Cleopatra is the exact circumstances of her passing. The traditional account suggests that she took herself by allowing an asp, a venomous snake, to bite her. However, some scholars propose alternative theories. Another intriguing theory is that Cleopatra's relationship with Rome was more complex than commonly portrayed. Some historians believe that her alliances with Julius Caesar and later with Mark Antony were part of a broader strategy to create a unified Greco-Roman Egyptian empire, with Alexandria as its capital. This theory suggests that Cleopatra's ambitions extended beyond Egypt, envisioning a new world order centered around her rule. The discovery of Cleopatra's tomb has also sparked speculation about a potential curse associated with disturbing her final resting place. Similar to the curse of Tutankhamun's tomb, some believe that those who enter Cleopatra's tomb may face misfortune or supernatural retribution. While there is no concrete evidence to support this theory, it adds an element of mystery and intrigue to the discovery. One of the most mysterious coincidences related to the discovery of Cleopatra's tomb is the alignment of astrological events. Researchers noted that significant breakthroughs in the excavation process often coincided with notable celestial events, such as eclipses and planetary conjunctions. Some believe that these alignments were not mere coincidences, but rather signs of divine intervention or ancient knowledge encoded in the tomb's design. Several members of the excavation team reported experiencing intuitive insights and inexplicable hunches that guided their efforts. These insights often led to significant discoveries, such as the location of hidden chambers or the interpretation of cryptic inscriptions. While these experiences cannot be scientifically explained, they add a layer of mystery to the discovery process. Cleopatra's legacy also includes her efforts to position herself as a divine ruler. She was closely associated with the goddess Isis and often depicted herself as the goddess's earthly embodiment. This association was part of her strategy to legitimize her rule and strengthen her connection with the Egyptian people. The artifacts found in her tomb, including statues and inscriptions depicting her as Isis, underscore this aspect of her reign.
Something drove the builders of the Great Pyramid to go to a very great additional trouble, not only to create this massive, imposing monument, but also to lock it on to true north, and then other things, to incorporate into its dimensions the dimensions of our planet.
The Serapeum of Saqqara is located in the vast Saqqara necropolis, an ancient burial ground about 30 kilometers south of modern-day Cairo, Egypt. This necropolis is renowned for its numerous pyramids, most notably the famous Step Pyramid of Djoser. The Serapeum itself is situated within this expansive complex, specifically nestled in the desert sands to the west of the Pyramid of Djoser. This location is significant due to its proximity to these monumental structures, adding to the historical and cultural richness of the area. The discovery of the Serapeum in 1851 is a fascinating story. It was unearthed by the French Egyptologist Auguste Mariette, who originally traveled to Egypt with the intent of collecting Coptic manuscripts for the Louvre. However, he quickly became captivated by the country's ancient monuments. Mariette's discovery of the Serapeum was rather serendipitous. While exploring the area, he noticed the head of a sphinx protruding from the sand. Intrigued, he began excavating and soon uncovered an entire avenue of sphinxes that led to the underground galleries of the Serapeum. The Serapeum of Saqqara stands as an architectural wonder, nestled within the vast Saqqara necropolis, approximately 30 kilometers south of modern-day Cairo. This ancient burial ground is famous for its numerous pyramids, including the renowned Step Pyramid of Djoser. The Serapeum itself is situated in the desert sands to the west of this iconic pyramid. Designed to house the sacred Apis bulls, revered as manifestations of the god Ptah and later Osiris Apis, the Serapeum consists of an extensive network of underground tunnels and burial chambers. Marking the entrance to the Serapeum is a long avenue lined with sphinx statues, similar in style to those found in Luxor's Avenue of Sphinxes. These sphinxes, believed to have been added during the Ptolemaic period, reflect the blend of Greek and Egyptian cultures. Entering the Serapeum, one would pass through what was once a grand entrance secured by massive stone doors, now removed or destroyed. This entrance demonstrates the Egyptians' ability to manipulate large stone blocks with precision. The removal of these doors has left the tunnels exposed to the elements, making conservation efforts crucial for preserving this historic site. The underground galleries of the Serapeum are its most striking and extensive feature. These galleries, arranged in a rectangular layout with side chambers cut into the rock, extend for several hundred meters. Each side chamber was meticulously designed to house a sarcophagus, reflecting the site's importance through its methodical precision. Hewn from solid limestone bedrock, these galleries showcase immense engineering skill, especially considering the limited tools available at the time. Originally lit by oil lamps or torches, the dim lighting within these galleries adds to their mysterious ambience. Among the most impressive aspects of the Serapeum are the massive sarcophagi housed within its chambers. Each sarcophagus, carved from a single block of stone such as granite, basalt, or limestone, is a marvel of ancient craftsmanship. Some weigh over 70 tons and measure up to 4 meters in length, raising questions about how these enormous stones were transported and positioned within the narrow confines of the underground chambers. The precision of their craftsmanship, with smooth surfaces and accurate dimensions, is comparable to that seen in the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza, indicating a continuity of advanced engineering skills over centuries. The walls of the Serapeum are richly adorned with hieroglyphic inscriptions and carvings, detailing the burial rites of the Apis bulls and the religious rituals associated with their worship. These inscriptions also mention the pharaohs who ordered the construction of the galleries and the burial of the bulls, providing valuable historical context. The decorations include depictions of gods and goddesses, scenes of offerings, and symbolic motifs like the Ankh, symbolizing life, and the Jed pillar, symbolizing stability. An interesting comparison can be made between the Serapeum of Saqqara and the catacombs of Rome. Both are extensive underground burial complexes, but while the Serapeum was dedicated to the sacred bulls, the catacombs were used for human burials, primarily by early Christians. The construction and transportation of the massive sarcophagi in the Serapeum have long intrigued historians and archaeologists. Several theories have been proposed to explain these feats. One widely accepted theory is that the ancient Egyptians used a system of ramps to transport the massive stone blocks from quarries to the construction site. These ramps could have been straight, zigzagging, or spiral, depending on the terrain and the specific requirements of the project. Another theory suggests that the stones were moved using wooden rollers and sledges. Workers would place the stone blocks on sledges and drag them over a series of logs, lubricated with water or oil to reduce friction. This method is supported by depictions in ancient Egyptian art, showing workers transporting large statues and blocks in this manner. Some researchers believe that lever and pulley systems might have been used to lift and position the sarcophagi within the underground chambers. Though no direct evidence of such devices has been found, the concept aligns with the known mechanical ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians. The most straightforward explanation involves sheer human labor. Teams of workers, possibly numbering in the hundreds, could have coordinated their efforts to move the stones using ropes, sledges, and manual force. Another fascinating structure near the Serapeum is the Step Pyramid of Djoser, an architectural marvel located in the Saqqara necropolis, about 30 kilometers south of modern-day Cairo. Saqqara served as the burial ground for the ancient city of Memphis, the capital of Egypt during the Old Kingdom. The pyramid stands prominently within this vast necropolis, surrounded by numerous tombs and other pyramids, making it a central feature of the area. The Step Pyramid of Djoser was rediscovered in the 19th century by European explorers. However, it was the French Egyptologist Jean-Philippe Lauer who carried out systematic excavation and study beginning in the 1920s. Lauer's extensive research and restoration efforts over several decades significantly enhanced our understanding of the pyramid's construction and historical significance. This pyramid is notable for being the first colossal stone building in Egypt, marking a significant evolution in pyramid construction. Built during the 3rd dynasty for Pharaoh Djoser by his architect Imhotep, who is often credited as the first known architect in history, the pyramid consists of 6 mastaba-like structures stacked on top of each other, each decreasing in size as they ascend, giving it its distinctive stepped appearance. Originally standing approximately 62 meters tall with a base measuring 109 meters by 121 meters, the pyramid has slightly reduced in height over time due to erosion. The core of the pyramid is made from rough, small limestone blocks, while the outer casing was constructed from fine Tura limestone, which gave the pyramid a smooth, bright appearance. This construction represents a significant technological advancement from earlier mud brick mastabas to large-scale stone architecture. Beneath the pyramid lies a vast labyrinth of tunnels and chambers. The central burial chamber, located at the bottom of a 28-meter shaft, was constructed from granite and intended to house the sarcophagus of Pharaoh Djoser. The underground network includes more than 5.5 kilometers of corridors designed to thwart grave robbers, with many passages decorated with blue faience tiles intended to imitate reed matting. Surrounding the pyramid is a massive limestone enclosure wall that measures 10.5 meters high and encloses an area of about 15 hectares. This wall is punctuated by 14 gates, though only one of them is functional. Within the enclosure there is a large courtyard known as the Heb Sed Court, used for the Heb Sed Festival, a jubilee celebration that renewed the king's reign and powers. Adjacent to the north side of the pyramid is the funerary temple, where rituals and offerings were made to honor the deceased pharaoh. A small sealed chamber called a serdab, located near the pyramid's north face, contains a life-sized statue of Djoser, with 2 small holes through which the statue could see the rituals performed in his honor. The Step Pyramid of Djoser is considered the earliest colossal stone structure in Egypt, and the first pyramid ever built, marking a revolutionary leap in architectural techniques. Imhotep, the architect of the pyramid, was later deified as a god of wisdom and medicine, with his contributions to architecture and medicine highly revered in later periods of Egyptian history. The Step Pyramid set the precedent for future pyramid construction in Egypt, influencing the design of smooth-sided pyramids like those found at Giza. The Heb Sed Court within the mortuary complex was used for a festival that renewed the pharaoh's power, celebrated after 30 years of a king's reign and every 3 years thereafter. The extensive subterranean network and the design of the pyramid itself were aimed at protecting the pharaoh's burial and deterring tomb robbers. Over the years, the pyramid and its complex have undergone extensive restoration efforts, particularly in the 20th and 21st centuries, to preserve this ancient monument for future generations.
Conqueror of empires. In the annals of history, one name stands above all others.
Alexander the Great had conquered and created the largest land-based empire the world has ever seen.
Picture this: the legendary Alexander the Great dead at the young age of 32. Instead of leaving clear instructions about his final resting place, he left behind a mystery that has baffled explorers and historians for centuries. His tomb, often referred to as the Holy Grail of archaeology, has been the subject of countless searches, all ending in frustration. So what happened to Alexander's body after his death? The story goes like this. After Alexander passed away in 323 BCE, his powerful friends started fighting over his vast empire, eventually tearing it apart to build their own kingdoms. One of these friends, Ptolemy Soter, wasn't a major player during Alexander's reign, but he eventually gained control of Egypt and established a dynasty that lasted for centuries. Now, the details about Alexander's burial wishes are murky. His appointed successor planned to send the body back to Macedon, but it never arrived. Ptolemy, seeing an opportunity, intercepted the body in Syria and redirected it to Egypt. At the time, Ptolemy was ruling from Memphis, as Alexandria, the city he would later make famous, was still under construction. This meant Alexander got a temporary tomb near Memphis while his final resting place was being figured out. Fast forward to the 19th century, and archaeologists stumble upon a temple dedicated to Pharaoh Nectanebo II near Saqqara, south of Memphis. This pharaoh was the last native ruler of Egypt before the Persians took over in 340 BCE. Some archaeologists, like Andrew Chugg, believe this temple might have been Alexander's original temporary tomb in Memphis. Here's why. The temple was relatively new when Ptolemy needed a place to bury Alexander, and it was likely the most recent grand non-Persian building around. Plus, there was even a spare royal sarcophagus that belonged to Nectanebo. It seems like the perfect temporary resting place for a legendary conqueror, right next to the seat of Ptolemy's power. Adding fuel to the fire, archaeologists also found statues dating back to Ptolemy's reign near the temple, suggesting some royal attention was paid to the site. There's even an ancient, far-fetched story claiming Nectanebo was Alexander's father, which might have sprung up due to Alexander's connection to the pharaoh's tomb. The Soma, Alexander's grand tomb, was once a major tourist attraction, drawing visitors from all corners of the world. But then, it vanished without a trace. The last confirmed sighting of the tomb was during a visit by the Roman Emperor Caracalla in 215 CE. He even took some souvenirs but supposedly replaced them with his own gifts. After that, mentions of the tomb and Alexander's body become scarce. There are a few hints, though. A writer named Libanius claims to have seen Alexander's mummy on display around 390 CE. This timeline coincides with the Theodosian decrees, which shut down pagan temples across the Roman Empire. The Soma, being a shrine dedicated to the deified Alexander, likely fell victim to these laws. Saint Cyril of Alexandria even mentions the stripping of treasures from Alexander's cult centers around this time, though the tomb itself isn't explicitly mentioned. Fast forward to the 400 CE, and another writer, St. John Chrysostom, drops a bombshell. Both the body and the tomb are now lost. Finding the tomb is no easy feat. Alexandria is a bustling city today, making large-scale excavations nearly impossible. Plus, there's a chance the tomb was simply destroyed over time, or even swallowed by the shifting sea levels. Another complication: was Alexander even buried in the Soma in the first place? It wasn't uncommon for bodies to be moved in ancient Egypt. Maybe Alexander was relocated to a secret location, making the search for the Soma itself a bit of a red herring. So, the quest for Alexander's tomb is more like a multi-pronged approach. One path involves finding the ancient crossroads of Alexandria, which might offer clues to the Soma's location. Local legends also point to a specific area, but without concrete evidence, it's like chasing shadows. The hunt for Alexander's tomb has led treasure hunters and archaeologists on a wild goose chase for centuries, with several contenders emerging along the way. One such contender is the Nebi Daniel Mosque, located just a stone's throw from the suspected location of the ancient crossroads. Back in 1850, a famous archaeologist even tried but failed to get permission to excavate there. While scholars doubt the mosque is the actual tomb, its claim likely stems from a genuine historical memory of the Soma being nearby. Across town, the Atarine Mosque also throws its hat in the ring, having attracted the attention of Napoleon's archaeologists in the 18th century. They didn't find Alexander, but they did stumble upon a repurposed sarcophagus. Guess whose? Nectanebo II, the pharaoh who ruled Egypt before the Persians took over. This discovery is intriguing. How did the Atarine Mosque end up with this specific sarcophagus, and so close to the estimated location of the tomb? It seems like more than just a coincidence. While the Atarine Mosque isn't the Soma itself, the presence of the sarcophagus and its proximity to the suspected location are promising signs. The search, however, doesn't stop in Alexandria. Some have ventured further afield to the Siwa oasis, where Alexander was declared the son of a god. However, there's no historical evidence to support a tomb there, and recent claims of its discovery have been dismissed by experts as more interested in boosting tourism than historical accuracy. The search for Alexander's tomb takes another unexpected turn, this time heading back to his homeland Macedon. After all, it was originally supposed to be his final resting place. One possibility emerged in 1977 with the discovery of an ancient tomb at Aigai, which is modern-day Vagina, Greece. The excitement was real, fueled by artifacts dating back to Alexander's time. However, the plot twist. The tomb belonged to none other than Alexander's father, Philip II. While not exactly Alexander, it's certainly the closest archaeologists have come, minus the actual conqueror himself. Another hopeful candidate, the Castor tomb discovered in 2012 at Amphipolis, also turned out to be a dead end. No remains of Alexander were found, and the artifacts pointed away from any connection to him. So it seems Egypt remains the front runner in the tomb hunt. Or does it? Enter archaeologist Andrew Chugg with a bold theory. Alexander might be in Venice under the mistaken identity of St. Mark the Evangelist. Hold on, you might be thinking, how can that be? Well, here's the twist. Traditionally, St. Mark, credited with writing the Gospel of Mark, was believed to have been martyred in Alexandria around 60 CE, with his body destroyed by fire. However, a curious twist emerged. A 4th century text claiming otherwise turned out to be a 6th century forgery. Then, in 392 CE, St. Jerome's writings mention St. Mark's body being present in Alexandria. Here's the suspicious part. This miraculous reappearance happens right after the Theodosian decrees forced the closure of pagan temples, including the possible destruction of Alexander's tomb. Coincidence? Maybe, but Alexandria is a big city, but there's more. The supposed tomb of St. Mark lies near the modern St. Mark's Coptic Orthodox Cathedral, conveniently situated just 200 meters north of the suspected location of Alexander's tomb. So we have Alexander vanishing around 390 CE as pagan sites were shutting down. Then, poof, St. Mark's body appears in the same area just 2 years later, despite centuries of claiming it was destroyed. Chugg doesn't stop at just proposing a wild theory. He also offers some intriguing evidence to back it up. He suggests that Alexander's tomb was simply given a makeover during the Theodosian decrees to avoid destruction, transforming into the tomb of St. Mark. Here's where things get even more interesting. Venetian merchants, apparently unaware of the switcheroo, supposedly stole these St. Mark remains in the 9th century, smuggling them out of Alexandria and eventually building a church in Venice to house them, the present-day Basilica di San Marco. The timing and location of these disappearances and reappearances are certainly suggestive, but Chugg goes a step further. During renovations of the basilica in the 1960s, a peculiar piece of stone carving was found. The stone originated from the Eastern Mediterranean and depicted imagery strongly linked to Alexander's Macedonian heritage, a shield with his royal house's star and a special spear used by his army. Recent analysis suggests this fragment was part of a sarcophagus casing, but its size didn't match any known sarcophagi in the basilica or any Macedonian artifacts. However, it did match one specific sarcophagus perfectly, Nectanebo II's, down to the millimeter. Chugg argues that this piece is proof the Venetians unknowingly took a chunk of Alexander's actual tomb when they stole the supposed remains of St. Mark. Intriguing, right? Reviewing the evidence, Chugg's theory, while seemingly outlandish, starts to make a surprising amount of sense. It connects several previously puzzling dots in the long search for Alexander's tomb. According to Chugg, Alexander was initially buried in Nectanebo II's sarcophagus in Memphis. Then both the body and the sarcophagus were moved to the Soma. The Ptolemies even built a special casing for the sarcophagus to protect it for centuries. The tomb remained undisturbed for over 700 years until the Theodosian decrees forced its transformation into a Christian monument dedicated to St. Mark to escape religious persecution. Alexander's body vanished at the same time and place where St. Mark supposedly appeared, and local memory of Alexander's tomb being nearby persisted despite the fabricated story of St. Mark. Fast forward centuries later, the Venetians, believing they were taking the remains of their patron saint, stole the body and a chunk of the Ptolemaic casing. Back in Alexandria, the empty sarcophagus ended up in the Atarine Mosque, where its connection to Alexander's burial was somehow remembered. So, if Chugg's theory holds water, the famous tomb of Alexander the Great might still be buried beneath the streets of Alexandria, roughly where local legends and archaeological studies have pointed all along. However, Alexander himself has likely been gone for over 1,000 years, possibly resting, ironically, within the Basilica di San Marco, mistaken for a saint. Unfortunately, confirming this theory would require examining the remains in Venice, something the Catholic Church and the city are unlikely to allow anytime soon, leaving the debate unresolved for the foreseeable future.
The Pazaric believed that after they died, they would go to a mountain pasture. Ukok seems to me the sort of place where the souls of the Pazaric would have gathered. You feel that you're about to unveil a secret when you open the lid. You don't know what's inside. A face or something else might appear through the ice.
The discovery of the Tisul princess, a mummified woman in Siberia, remains one of the most mysterious and unexplained archaeological findings in recent history. This mysterious event, which occurred in the early 1970s, has sparked numerous theories and continues to intrigue researchers and scientists. The Tisul princess was discovered in September 1969 in the village of Rzavchik Tisulskago, located in the Tisul district of Kemerovo Oblast, Siberia.
One of the most important discoveries this century in the context of archaeological discipline.
The unearthing of the mummy was purely accidental, resulting from the routine mining activities in the area. A local miner named Karpov stumbled upon a large, solid casket buried approximately 70 feet underground while excavating a coal mine. As Karpov and his colleagues worked to extract the casket, they were taken aback by its unusual design and pristine condition. The casket, made of a type of pinkish-white marble and sealed with an unknown black resin, stood out against the surrounding earth and coal. Upon closer inspection, they noticed that the resin had preserved the casket in such a way that it appeared almost new, despite the coal around it being millions of years old. The miners, driven by curiosity and a sense of duty to uncover what they had found, decided to open the casket. To their astonishment, the interior was filled with a pinkish-blue liquid that seemed to have preserved the contents perfectly. Inside, they found the remarkably well-preserved body of a woman. She appeared to be in her 30s, with European features, long, dark hair, and dressed in a delicate lace dress. Her hands were crossed over her chest and she wore an ornate silver tiara on her head. The woman's body showed no signs of decay, and her skin retained a lifelike elasticity and color, almost as if she were merely sleeping. This level of preservation, especially in such an ancient burial, was unprecedented. Additionally, the advanced craftsmanship of her dress and accessories suggested a high level of civilization and technological prowess that contradicted the historical timeline of human development. Word of the discovery quickly spread throughout the village and beyond. Local authorities were notified, and soon after, a team of Soviet scientists and archaeologists arrived at the site to examine the find. The initial excitement was tempered by a sense of caution and concern, as the discovery posed numerous unanswered questions and potential ramifications. The scientists who inspected the casket and its contents were baffled. The preservation method, the composition of the preserving liquid, and the advanced nature of the artifacts found with the body all defied conventional understanding. Preliminary tests indicated that the burial dated back tens of thousands of years, which contradicted established historical and archaeological records of human civilization in the region. Several aspects of the Tisul princess discovery added to its mysterious nature. Firstly, the depth at which the casket was found suggested it had been buried for an extraordinarily long period, far beyond the scope of known human history. Secondly, the preservation liquid, upon analysis, contained a complex mixture of chemicals that did not match any known natural or synthetic substances available at the time. Moreover, the fact that the woman appeared to be of European descent in a region historically inhabited by nomadic tribes added another layer of intrigue. Her sophisticated attire and the craftsmanship of her accessories hinted at a highly advanced and possibly forgotten civilization. As the implications of the discovery became apparent, the Soviet government took a keen interest in the case. The site was quickly cordoned off, and all information related to the find was classified. The casket and the remains of the Tissoul princess were transported to a secure research facility for further study. Researchers were sworn to secrecy, and local villagers were warned not to speak of the event. This level of secrecy fueled numerous conspiracy theories and speculative narratives about the true nature of the Tissoul princess. Some suggested that the discovery posed a significant threat to the established historical narrative, while others believed it was evidence of extraterrestrial involvement or an advanced ancient civilization. In the years following the discovery, information about the Tissoul princess remained scarce and highly controlled. Occasional leaks and accounts from those involved in the original find suggested that the researchers had made significant but undisclosed breakthroughs in understanding the preservation techniques and the origins of the artifacts. One particularly intriguing theory that emerged was the idea that the Tissoul princess could be an ancient escape pod from an advanced civilization that had either originated on Earth and disappeared or come from another planet. This theory was partly fueled by the advanced technology evident in the preservation methods and the composition of the casket and its contents. Despite the Soviet government's tight control over information, some details about the Tissoul princess continued to emerge through unofficial channels. Researchers who had worked on the project, bound by secrecy, occasionally hinted at breakthroughs that defied conventional scientific understanding. These revelations further fueled public curiosity and speculation. One of the key areas of research focused on the chemical composition of the preserving liquid found in the casket. Analysis revealed that the liquid contained a complex mixture of substances, including elements that were either extremely rare or unknown to modern science. This discovery led some researchers to hypothesize that the liquid was not naturally occurring, but rather synthetically engineered by a highly advanced civilization. Another area of interest was the casket itself, made of a type of marble not found in the region and sealed with an unknown black resin. The casket's construction suggested a level of technological sophistication far beyond what was believed possible for the time period, indicated by preliminary dating. The precision of the sealing and the preservation of the body indicated that the people who created it possessed advanced knowledge of material science and preservation techniques. Several unique and interesting facts emerged about the Tissoul princess and her burial site. For instance, her ornate silver tiara, upon closer inspection, was found to contain intricate engravings and symbols that did not match any known language or writing system. This led some to speculate that it might be a form of communication or record-keeping from a lost civilization. Additionally, the dress worn by the Tissoul princess was made from a type of fabric that was both incredibly fine and durable, suggesting advanced textile production techniques. The fabric's weave was unlike anything seen in historical records, further complicating efforts to place her within a known historical context. The casket's location also raised intriguing questions. Found deep within a coal seam, the burial site was millions of years old, predating the emergence of modern humans. This anachronism suggested either that the casket had been deliberately placed there by an unknown civilization with advanced capabilities, or that it had somehow ended up there through means that defied current understanding of geological and archaeological processes. Theories about the origins and significance of the Tissoul princess abound, ranging from the plausible to the fantastical. One of the more popular theories is that she was a member of a highly advanced ancient civilization that had achieved remarkable technological and scientific advancements before mysteriously disappearing. This theory posits that her burial was a form of preservation, intended to protect her body and knowledge for future generations. Another theory, which delves into the realm of science fiction, suggests that the Tisul princess was part of an ancient escape pod from an advanced extraterrestrial civilization. Proponents of this theory point to the advanced preservation techniques and the unknown materials as evidence that the technology used was not of this Earth. They speculate that she might have been a member of a spacefaring race that visited Earth millions of years ago, only to leave behind a cryptic legacy. Several mysterious coincidences have added to the intrigue surrounding the Tisul princess. For example, shortly after the discovery, several individuals involved in the excavation and initial examination reportedly fell ill under unexplained circumstances. Some accounts even suggest that a few of these individuals died suddenly, leading to rumors of a curse or contamination related to the casket and its contents. Furthermore, there have been reports of unusual phenomena in the vicinity of the discovery site. Villagers have claimed to witness strange lights in the sky and unexplained electrical disturbances since the casket was unearthed. These occurrences have led some to believe that the site might hold residual energy or technology from the advanced civilization that created the casket. Another curious aspect is the timing of the discovery. It occurred during the height of the Cold War, a period marked by intense secrecy and competition between superpowers. Some theorists suggest that the Soviet government's swift and decisive actions to secure and classify the find indicate its potential significance in the geopolitical landscape at the time. The secrecy and tight control over information have only fueled further speculation and conspiracy theories. The discovery of the Tisul princess remains one of the most fascinating and mysterious archaeological finds of the 20th century.
The Anunnaki, they are these beings that came from off-world.
So these are aliens?
These are aliens. Anunnaki is a general term. It doesn't mean one race. It's a term to say those who came from heaven to earth. That's it. In ancient Sumeria, the people there were advanced beyond belief. So these people were extremely intelligent, but they were influenced by these Anunnaki Atlantean people.
Hidden within the ancient tablets of the Epic of Gilgamesh are secret messages left by the Anunnaki king for modern civilization, offering timeless wisdom and cautionary tales.
We keep slapping our ancient ancestors in the face, doubting their wisdom and doubting their understanding of what really happened.
This legendary narrative, chronicling the adventures of Gilgamesh and his companion Enkidu, reveals profound insights into humanity's quest for immortality, the value of friendship, and the consequences of hubris.
For example, the Epic of Gilgamesh is giving you the full story of Noah's Ark. The generalization of the story is coming directly from these ancient tablets.
As scholars uncover more fragments and interpretations of this ancient epic, they piece together a tapestry of mythology, history, and philosophy. In the mid-19th century, a renewed interest in archaeology and history sparked the rediscovery of ancient civilizations.
The homegrown archaeologists that aren't afraid to talk say that these fortresses were built in a day and a night by the beings that came from heaven.
During this pivotal period, the story of Gilgamesh, a legendary figure from Sumerian lore, began to surface through a series of archaeological excavations in the ancient Near East. These efforts uncovered remnants of a long-forgotten civilization buried under the sands of time. Mesopotamia, often referred to as the cradle of civilization, was located in the fertile region between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, corresponding to modern-day Iraq. This region was home to some of the earliest known cities, such as Uruk, Ur, and Babylon. The rich soil and abundant water supply supported the development of complex societies, advanced agriculture, and early writing systems, laying the foundations for human civilization.
They actually, in the tablets, talk about clearing out the Euphrates and the Tigris to make it better for irrigation.
In 1849, British archaeologist Austin Henry Layard made a groundbreaking discovery while excavating the ancient city of Nineveh, one of the oldest and most significant cities of the Assyrian Empire. Nineveh, located near the modern city of Mosul in northern Iraq, had been a major center of trade, politics, and culture in ancient Mesopotamia. Among Layard's most remarkable findings was the library of Ashurbanipal, the last great king of the Neo-Assyrian Empire. This vast collection of clay tablets, inscribed with cuneiform script, contained a wealth of information about the Assyrian Empire, its history, religion, literature, and science. The library, dating back to the 7th century BCE, was a treasure trove of knowledge that provided an unprecedented glimpse into the ancient world. Interestingly, the discovery of Ashurbanipal's library was serendipitous. Layard initially set out to find artifacts and treasures, but he stumbled upon a more valuable find: the written records of a civilization.
These people were scribing specifically what they were told to write by their god or their lord or their master.
The sheer volume of tablets, estimated to be around 30,000, suggested a highly literate society that valued the preservation of knowledge. The decipherment of cuneiform was a monumental achievement that unlocked the secrets of ancient Mesopotamian civilization.
These translations are ancient, in my opinion, because we're talking about 17 and 1800s. The tablets were already translated.
Cuneiform, one of the earliest systems of writing, was characterized by its wedge-shaped marks made on clay tablets with a reed stylus. This script was used by several ancient cultures, including the Sumerians, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians. The challenge of deciphering cuneiform fell to scholars like Sir Henry Rawlinson, a British Army officer and linguist. Rawlinson's breakthrough came with the Behistun inscription, a multilingual inscription carved into a cliff in what is now Iran. The inscription, commissioned by King Darius the Great of Persia, was written in 3 languages: Old Persian, Elamite, and Babylonian. By comparing the known language of Old Persian with the cuneiform script, Rawlinson and other scholars were able to crack the code of cuneiform. By the 1850s, significant progress had been made in understanding cuneiform, allowing scholars to begin translating the vast collection of texts from Ashurbanipal's library. Among these texts was a particular set of 12 tablets that revealed a coherent and enthralling narrative: the story of Gilgamesh.
All the different people that have researched them have a very similar story.
The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest known works of literature, is a rich tapestry of mythology, history, and philosophy. The narrative follows Gilgamesh, the semi-divine king of Uruk, and his adventures with his companion Enkidu. Their journey takes them through various trials, including the confrontation with the monster Humbaba, the rejection of the goddess Ishtar, and the quest for immortality following Enkidu's passing. The epic begins with Gilgamesh, the king of Uruk, who is described as 2/3 divine and 1/3 human. His extraordinary strength and wisdom make him a formidable ruler, but his arrogance and oppressive rule cause his people to cry out to the gods for relief. In response to their pleas, the gods create Enkidu, a wild man who lives among the animals. Enkidu's initial innocence and harmony with nature contrast sharply with Gilgamesh's urban civilization. A temple servant named Shamhat is sent to tame Enkidu, introducing him to human culture and society. This transformation from wild man to civilized companion sets the stage for his friendship with Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh and Enkidu become fast friends, their bond solidified by their shared adventures. They undertake a perilous journey to the cedar forest to confront Humbaba, the fearsome guardian appointed by the god Enlil. Despite Humbaba's terrifying presence, they manage to defeat him, showcasing their bravery and strength. This victory, however, sows the seeds of their eventual downfall by angering the gods. The gods decree that Enkidu must be expunged as punishment for their defiance. Enkidu's passing is a pivotal moment in the epic, profoundly affecting Gilgamesh. His grief and despair drive him to seek the secret of immortality, fearing his own mortality and the futility of human endeavors. This quest takes him on a journey beyond the known world, into the realms of the gods and the unknown. Gilgamesh's search for eternal life leads him to Utnapishtim, the only mortal granted immortality by the gods after surviving a great flood. Utnapishtim recounts the story of the flood, which closely parallels the biblical account of Noah's Ark. Despite Gilgamesh's efforts, he ultimately fails to obtain immortality. Utnapishtim reveals that the secret of eternal life lies in accepting one's mortality and finding meaning in the transient human experience. An interesting comparison can be made between the Epic of Gilgamesh and Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. Both epics explore themes of heroism, the human condition, and the quest for immortality. However, while Homer's epics are rooted in Greek mythology and focus on the exploits of mortal heroes, the Gilgamesh epic delves deeper into existential questions and the limits of human ambition, reflecting the values and beliefs of ancient Mesopotamian society. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Epic of Gilgamesh is the story of the Great Flood, recounted by Utnapishtim, the immortal survivor. In this narrative, Utnapishtim tells Gilgamesh how the gods decided to send a flood to destroy humanity, but advised him to build a boat to save his family and the seed of all living things. This story bears a striking resemblance to the biblical account of Noah's Ark in the Book of Genesis. Scholars have theorized that the flood myth in the Epic of Gilgamesh may have influenced the biblical narrative, suggesting a shared cultural memory of a catastrophic flood in the ancient Near East. This theory is supported by the fact that flood myths are prevalent in many ancient cultures, pointing to a possible historical event or a collective human response to natural disasters. An intriguing theory posits that Gilgamesh may have been a historical figure who reigned over the city-state of Uruk around 2700 BCE. Evidence supporting this theory includes the Sumerian king list, which mentions a king named Gilgamesh who ruled Uruk for 126 years. While the epic embellishes his life with mythical elements, it is possible that the stories were inspired by a real king, whose deeds and legacy were magnified over time. This theory highlights the fluid boundary between history and myth in ancient storytelling. Over the years, additional fragments of the Gilgamesh epic have been discovered at various archaeological sites across Mesopotamia, such as the ancient cities of Ur and Babylon. These fragments have allowed scholars to fill in gaps and clarify ambiguities in the narrative, enhancing our understanding of the text. Each new discovery has helped refine the epic, revealing variations in the story that reflect different cultural contexts and periods. For instance, some versions emphasize Gilgamesh's divinity more than others, while certain passages highlight different moral and philosophical themes.